And we are live. Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Daniel Chamberlain, Coaching 101 podcast. We are live here with Ace Sports. You see this beautiful big sign. Mark and Ryan, you guys that are listening, this is what I need to travel with me for these. This is an amazing backdrop. Yeah. We are live at the Border States Summit, and if you haven't been to the Border States Summit, they're in their third year, and they're growing every year. I think they said they started around 70, and we're about 130, 150 this year. So seems like something that's on the rise. It's really neat opportunity for the four states, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas, to kind of get together and network and talk. And it seems like for the betterment of the programs, right? See what's working in different areas, things we've tried that aren't working. We talked with BJ McBride from Bristow last hour. We talked about NIL is a thing in Oklahoma now, right? Yeah. Someone's going to have to jump off the cliff and try something ridiculous in NIL to see if they can really utilize it in high school sports, which and you could stub your toe there really quickly, or look like the golden boy, like why aren't we all doing it that way? Yeah. But this is the place to come and talk about those things, because you got four states with four different sets of rules, and it's a great place to kind of work through all those. Yep. Ace Sports is the people that we're here with. Ace Sports is, it's the nation's best company to work with if you're trying to get a video board in your arena, in your stadium, in your whatever you're trying to do. If you need a video board to do it, Ace Sports is people to come in. It is strictly ad revenue, but it is a fundraiser for you, your program, your athletics department. I guess you could be sports specific if you needed to be, but just it's a place for let people give back to you, for people from the community, and you get to celebrate your kids like crazy. So acesports.com, you can email Ryan.Hughes, that's Hughes at acesports.com, Mark.Bridges at acesports.com, common spelling on the rest of those names. Great place to go. Yeah. Ace is great people, but there's another company in the building that,
that's right.
I'm kind of excited. Look, me and Coach Welchman here, I'll let you introduce yourself here in just a moment, but Coach and I got to know each other a couple of years ago at one of Kenny Simpson's things. We all know that like all roads lead back to Kenny Simpson, right? He is the guy that makes things happen. Him and Jamie Simpson, I'm going to shout out because I absolutely love what Jamie does. She is the household leader, I feel like, in that power couple. Yeah. But great people. Obviously, you got to work with Kenny for a few years. You know what that's like. Yep. But he introduced me to you and kind of what you're trying to do here. You're with ProCom now. Yeah. So first introduce yourself, and then let's talk a little ProCom headsets.
Yeah, so I'm Zach Welchman. Still teach. So teach a little elementary PE, and then sell headsets. So love doing that. Keeps me talking to coaches and doing cool stuff like this. And so been in a lot of clinics. This is a super cool clinic with the Border States. Love the idea of it. Love what they're trying to accomplish with it, and I think it's just going to get bigger. So.
Yeah. We talked a little bit earlier. You're at a school there in Little Rock not Little. I'm sorry. Yeah. Is it Little Rock?
Yeah.
Okay, I said it right. Yep. Sorry.
No, you're good.
School there in Little Rock, and first of all, I want to shout you out for the sacrifice. Look, a lot of guys as coaches, they will bounce around and move their family and go from job to job. For a guy that found a school that is great for your kids, but you're not moving off to go coach at other schools. So first of all, just shout out to you for the sacrifice to put your kids in a better place. Yeah. That's what we're all, I think, supposed to be doing. Yeah. Whatever that looks like, that sacrifice. We said the quote earlier, right? You either sacrifice for what you want, or what you want becomes the sacrifice. So
that's right.
Kudos to you for being a guy that just do that.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
I appreciate that.
You started down this path of selling headsets. Like, what's kind of some of that? What does that feel like? Obviously, a lot of us guys, we use them on Friday nights, and we throw them in a box, and we don't see them until next season. Yeah. But now you're on that side. You're doing the sales. You're talking with coaches. Yeah. Why ProCom?
So that was a pretty simple question, because the transition's been pretty easy for me from the simple fact that I bought them my last year as a head coach. They were the best thing I tried on. Went to a clinic, tried on everything there was. ProCom was the best. Had a couple of coaches also that suggested that, hey, this is what we use and it's phenomenal. So buying them, been fantastic. They were flawless through our season. At the end of the season, they're like, hey, does anybody want to be a sales rep? I'm like, sign me up. This is a great product. And so that's kind of how I got that transition, started selling. So it's been an easy, seamless process. And I mean, I'm just talking to coaches. So I'm getting to still be around the people I like to be around. I love coaches. I think what coaches do is a foundation building block for our society and how they build into men and relationships with others. And so I think that's just such a big part of everybody's community. And so I'm a big fan. I love getting to talk to coaches and being around them.
You know, every once in a while you come across a product that sells itself, and when it does that within the community that you're a part of and that you love, like coaching, it sure makes that. You talk about Kenny Simpson and his gun tee, right? It's a product that is amazing. It helps coaches be better at what they're doing.
That's right.
It simplifies things for the kids. It's a great product. I've worked with Joe Daniel as well. Everything over at on his website, all the things, his offenses, defenses, his coaching philosophies. Both of those guys are outstanding, and they sell themselves, man. It's like it's not a hard thing. Yes, we have to go out and have a salesman, right? You got to have a podcast. You got to have something that's getting your name out there so that people can find you, because quite honestly, people don't know what's available to them.
That's right. Yeah. So absolutely. A lot of times people think there's just one or two things you can do, and just like we said with Coach Simpson, gun tee, that's a tried by fire product. I mean, it was raised up from some tough times, and so that's kind of like with ProCom. This is coaches that created a product, designed it for coaches, and it's through trial and error and through fire, if you will, that this product's created.
So Zach and I had a conversation earlier, and he has no idea I'm about to say any of this, but we were talking about the perception that if your price is lower than the competition, that your quality is inferior. Right? And that's so bizarre that coaches went together and built a better product than some kind of the name brands out there, the ones that everyone knows. Created a better product, charge you less for it, and then people frown upon that. And it's a weird thing in life that we...
Absolutely, and I think some of it's just coaches are loyal. We like to do what we like to do, and we stick to what we know. And so part of that's that. Part of it's just, like you said, a lot of people just don't want to take the time to get to know something else until you have to have it.
Right.
And so a lot of those times that we talk to people is because they have to have it. A lot of things right now transition a little bit to, you're talking about NIL, let's talk about coach to player a little bit. You're starting to see a lot of the coach to player conversations come up, and obviously college has okayed it for D1, FCS, and so some JUCO, and so you're starting to see that starting to get going. That's going to trickle down to high school quite a bit pretty soon. So.
Yeah, something that I saw ProCom put out a couple of years ago was that loudmouth speaker, right? And I thought, gone are the days of, hey, I have to sacrifice a headset off of one of my coaches so that the guy in the box can talk to the quarterback because, whatever reason, all these quote-unquote quarterback gurus out there in the world, because there's a million of them.
That's right.
They also have to be in the booth out of the heat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they need to be coaching their quarterback through a headset.
Yeah.
But now we have the speaker that allows us to do it, right? That two-way communication.
That's right. Yeah, and so you think about how many guys you would like to have in the box. So for me, I loved having an offensive line guy up there. Somebody that can see a little bit, but you never wanted them away from the players. And so that speaker allows you to do that. And so if you utilize that, that's really cool technology you can utilize right now. ProCom's the only one that has it, and so cool technology on that.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm going to transition here. I told you I wouldn't keep you very long. And ProCom is a big part of what you're doing now, and I think it's really neat. We just want to shout them from the top of the highest mountain. It's a good product for a lower price than competition. You're going to get quality product.
High quality.
We want to talk install. So everybody's getting into their fall install right now, right? And you as a former coach, you've been through plenty of installs. You've got the head coaching time. You've got some coordinator time. You've done the things. So talking about, where's your mind go as we approach this part of the season? We're getting out of doing the weights. We're getting into starting to teach kids the playbook. So what does that look like to you, and kind of where are your thoughts at?
Yeah, so first thought is just, what does summer look like? How can I progress that into August? And then when August hits, the first part of it is just setting that tone for what you're wanting to accomplish for the rest of the season, right? And so how does practice need to look? Getting the kids in that routine, that's the main part of the first part of that install for me. And then for the second part of it is, what is the very foundational thing that we're going to hang our hat on, that we think we're going to hang our hat on? Because as we know, adjustments are huge. Make sure you can modify, adjust. Don't be stuck in concrete. You don't want to just die on that hill all the time. So what's going to be that foundational thing that we're going to hang our hat on? For me, obviously, everybody, it is. For defensive side, it's going to be tackling. For offensive side, it's going to be execution. So those are the first two things we're going to go through on the install. The second thing is, what's going to be your bread and butter? What are the plays that are going to get you there? So I'm going to spend most of the time on that tackling, on the execution of blocking, of catching, of passes and stuff like that. But then also, what's the bread and butters we're going to really hone in on, and what do we want the kids to be able to do in their sleep type deal.
There's something I've learned working with these good coaches. I talk about Joe, we talk about Kenny, other guys that are out there. You better have what you want to be your bread and butter, but then you better have the ability to see, we're not good at that this year. We need to use this. And that's Kenny's system works out. He's got buck and he's got belly, and they've added some RPOs and stuff to make those things right. Joe's is a little different where he's got zone, he's got gap.
That's right.
And if your kids just can't pick up gap blocking for whatever reason, power ain't power this year.
That's right.
You can fall back on your inside zone.
That's
you fall back on something to get some combos to help your kids.
That's right.
Vice versa, if you want to be a zone dude, but we just can't figure out the combos and coming off to that second level. Now we get back to just simple block down, kick out, and let's hit the gap, right?
That's right, absolutely. And you got a great running back, right? And that kid can get downhill in a hurry. And so you really want to hone in on zone because you want it to be more of an inside zone look. And so you're honing in on that, but then you realize, Greg, this kid can't see it. Well, let's just make it easy and pull someone and get him behind somebody. That kid's going to go and look a whole lot better. So don't let that scheme affect a player. You want to put your players in the best position to make plays, right? And so always make sure your scheme goes with that. So whether it's zone, whether it's power, whether it's 3-4, 4-4, make sure those kids can fly to the ball.
There's a perception, I think, for some coaches to get known for a thing. You talk hitting the gun tee. There's a high school here that I had to go against my first year in Oklahoma that they are flipping the line gap scheme. They're going to run power and counter to the cows come home, right? And you understand that there is a mentality there. We are going to make what we have work. And I think that's great if you're in that boat.
That's right.
If you're a new guy coming into it, I don't know that you can start that now. And I guess those guys all started somewhere.
Yeah.
But they figured out how to make those things work along the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm big on flexibility and adapt. I mean, truly the word adaptability is kind of bred into me. Like our physical therapy clinic is called adaptable physical therapy. Like whatever the heck works, you better be able to do it. It's kind of a military mindset, right?
Yeah.
How big is adaptability when you start looking at this install schedule?
That to me is everything because heat. Let's just go with heat. Like you got not only your X's and O's, but you got all the other factors. So heat's a factor. You got to adapt that day to that deal. So you talk about, maybe you have a water leak at the school that day. You got to adapt to that. So adaptability is huge in everything you do. Go back to what you said on the power and counter. We're going to make this work no matter what. There's certain places you can do that in, certain places you can't. So as a coach, you got to be adaptable where you're at. So let's say you're a coach that wants to that you're moving around a little bit to get to where you want to accomplish, be in life, head coach of this school, that school, whatever, and you got to move a little bit. Okay, great. You're going to have to adapt to different places and different things. If you get stuck in it, you're going to get stuck and not be able to move.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Looking into that install schedule, what's like a kind of a method you found that worked to help kids retain, right? That's what we need is if I get a new kid out in August, because obviously a lot of schools have spring ball right now or summer, some kind of contact. Yeah. But I get a kid in August, and I've got to get him on the field. He's the guy. Yeah. What have you found that has helped kids retain that and get into the first few games of the season?
We're educators, right? So you got to meet the kid where he's at. And so that's one of the biggest things is does he learn through visual learning? Is he kinesthetic? Is he someone that's going to learn through a multiple different ways? Well, you got to meet all those needs and you got to know that kid. So the things that I found is make sure they get enough reps, make sure they got a playbook, make sure that they are communicating themselves to you or to other players how this play needs to get accomplished. So just making sure you're hitting all the points, right? Having the players teach other players is one of the best things I've ever seen.
Yeah, putting a kid in a position to have to teach it is awesome because whether you put him on the spot, which you probably shouldn't do, he's a kid. He probably played Call of Duty all night last night, or now it's College Football 26, right?
That's
the
right.
new one.
That's right. That's right.
My wife hates that game, by the way, because I love it.
Or playbook.
Whatever. But you give him an update tomorrow. You're teaching power to the lineman because you're the senior lineman, and it's time you better know it, right? Yeah. Passing on those responses, delegation, if you will, but really just to test, right? Just to test them. Do you know what all of these guys are doing, or are you super locked in to just your position?
That's right. That's right. Can you be able to see the full picture? And to be honest, I mean, a high school kid maybe not be able to. So that as a coach, make sure you step in that gap and don't put them in a position to fail, right? Yeah. Make sure you're putting them in a position to succeed. So maybe not put him on the board in front of the whole team, but maybe say, hey, you get Tommy right now and y'all go over there and talk about power. And then ask Tommy later, hey, what did he tell you? How did this work? What are you still missing that you need help with?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to do it.
And leaning on the staff, right? So being able to have guys in your corner on the staff side of things that are executing that, not just all on the head coach, right? So the staff needs to be able to come in, and you as a position coach needs to be able to make sure you're communicating those things, and then checking on your guys, making sure they're helping each other with it. And a lot of that just comes through being vocal. You got to be vocal in football. So helping guys to become more vocal during the game, but that starts in practice.
So talking about staff, is this a time that you found a way to develop staff and install as well? Like, we're talking about developing kids and getting kids ready.
Yeah.
What are you doing for your coaches to get them ready to make those? You have to make adjustments. We've got to be adaptable. We've got to be able to. What are you doing during install that allows them to kind of prepare to make those changes on game night?
Well, you got to sit and watch film with them. You gotta. Everybody's got to get in the room. So I don't think it's just necessarily when I was a head coach. I never thought of it as I'm the head coach. I'm the guy. I need to. It's like all of us. We're all on this ship together. Let's make this thing go. So I'm learning from you. Hopefully you're learning from me. So when I was an assistant coach, I wanted to make sure that my head coach knew that I got this. You get away, go worry about something else. Like this, this is going to go. So I wanted to make sure everything was going the right way when I was an assistant coach, that the head coach didn't have to worry about it. And so what we did is I think the number one thing, just like we said with the kids, is communication. Making sure we're talking through each scenario that we can come up with, having a plan. There's plenty of, you get on Twitter, there's plenty of plans out there that you can grab hold of, tweak to what you need. And so have the plan for the install and what you want to accomplish with each other and how you want to accomplish those things with coaches, and just have that plan. That's the biggest thing. So what did I see? Just making sure you're sitting down with someone and having conversations. After practice, before practice, whatever it needs to be for your staff, make sure you're getting it accomplished.
Yeah, we obviously, Ron Mackey's a guy that I've got to work with before, a long time, kind of an air raid guy.
Yeah.
But he really introduced me to the 3-day air raid install system. But then he repeats days. So he does day 1 twice, day 2 twice, day 3 twice. So that way kids really get those repetitions. They can learn it, not just touch on it and move on, right? We didn't cover it, we taught it. Have you ever used anything like that, or any little secrets to help kids remember stuff?
So absolutely. I think all coaches do that to some extent. I never wanted to be a guy that just did one thing one time and said, I told you how to do that. It's like, it doesn't matter if I told you, it matters if you retained it, right? So I need to visually see you retaining that. That comes from me seeing practice. So for us, it was watching film. Are we actually picking up what we say we're picking up? Are we putting that into practice, showing and demonstrating that we understand that technique? And so if we don't, we cover it again. We go back over it. Do we spend as much time on it? Maybe not. It depends on what the schedule allows in that time frame. But we want to make sure this is something we're going to die on. This is our bread and butter. This is our foundation. Then, we're going to spend a lot of time on it. And so that's kind of the biggest thing. It's obviously just, for me, it was film, making sure that they're demonstrating that they have that understanding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As a guy that I've worked a lot with Cameron Palmer over at Bristow High School in Oklahoma, and the offense he runs, of course, is out of the Bixby tree. So he's multiplicity. Like what do we lean on? What do we hang our hat on? Multiplicity.
That's right.
And it makes it a lot different when you start thinking about football, because some coaches are going to run power until the cows come home.
That's right.
The guys that I work with are going to run everything until the cows come home, right? And so it is neat seeing the change in install schedules from I don't want to say antiquated or old school or whatever method, but just that one trick pony install. Yeah. We're going to run power on Monday. We're going to run it on Tuesday. We're going to run it on Wednesday. We're going to be really good at power, versus we're out there moving, shifting, changing, running every variation of offense you can think of.
Yeah.
So the constant is the change. Like the kids learn through that install, through summer, through 7-on-7, through spring ball, whatever. But like, we're going to do some stuff. And so I think fun is kind of what we hang our hat on, right? Yeah. Be able to go out and look ridiculous and still go out and execute the bases, the fundamentals. So it's pretty neat to see how football can change and be different, but we're all leaning back on the same stuff.
All on the same thing. You think about it, it's just a system. This system's that. So how are you communicating your system to your players? Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I think that's what it comes down to, and that requires a plan. And it shouldn't just be one person come up with a plan. You got to have more hats in the ring, because you got a whole lot of kids that are going to think differently than you do too. So make sure you have everybody in on the same page, getting that written down.
That's really good. Cameron was lucky enough last year to have a couple quarterbacks, and this year he gets to lean back on kind of a stud athlete. And he's real big about like bringing the quarterback in and
Yeah.
what is he like? What does he not like?
What's that
What
kid
makes
say?
sense? Is it installed?
Yeah.
Have we taught it? Have we covered it? Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's obviously a really good coach and he does things a really neat way. So
I love what you said there. Is the kid comfortable with it? Is the QB comfortable? What are you comfortable with? Man, after that kid, you start building that comfort. You're building the confidence, right? And that confidence grows. Well, now you can add to, because now you can build onto things. Because if you got confidence, failure's not that hard. You don't have confidence, failure will ruin you.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
That's a great line right
Yeah.
there, man. That's one for the books. Well, awesome, Coach. We'll start
it.
closing out now. If somebody needs to reach out to you about ProComm headsets, they need to update, they need to refresh, they need to completely replace.
Yeah.
How do they get a hold of you?
You can text me, call me at 501-844-6150, or my email is procommwelchman@gmail.com. That Welchman's WELCHMAN. So.
Perfect.
Yep.
Give Coach a call, man. If you're anywhere in the greater United States, call Coach.
Yeah, that's right.
He can hook you up. Especially
sure.
you guys are listening to Oklahoma, Arkansas. Well, if you're one of these border states from the summit, right?
100%.
If you're in this AO, give him a call and he'll take care of you.
Absolutely. Hey, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Yeah.
You guys, we're quick. I'm going to shout out Ace Sports one more time.
Absolutely.
If you have not looked into a video board, a way to fundraise, dude, it's the freaking cheat code. It's absolutely the cheat code to go out and fundraise through ad revenue.
Yep.
Right? It's no more putting little trinkets in grandma's house that she's got to pretend she likes for a couple of years until it gets replaced by the next little trinket.
Yeah.
Okay? We're letting people go out and save money through giving money, right?
That's right.
We take that tax burden off of them through the expenses and then give it to you and let your program thrive. So reach out to Ace Sports. That'd be Mark Bridges, mark.bridges@acesports.com. Or you can, Ryan Hughes is here, ryan.hughes, HUGHES, @acesports.com.
Yep.
Thank you guys. We'll see you at the top of the next hour.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.